welcome to episode 44 of Rebels Without a Pod, the show that finds 13 ways to ask the question, what the hell am I doing here? A little bit. Yeah.
Without context.
Without context. My name is John, and joining me tonight, Andy, who does our artwork and graphic design.
Hey, everybody.
Naveen on music and audio production.
Hello there.
And Pod Daddy Eric, also known by his drag name, Coco Melon Chanel.
Whoa.
Huh.
Guys, I'm just here to kiss, but more to bang bang.
Nice.
Context in just a moment. All of our content is currently up on the Rebels Without a Pod YouTube channel. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we are kicking off our Neo-Neo-Noir cycle with Shane Black's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. But first, gentlemen, it's been a little while since we spoke. How is everybody doing?
Yeah, doing all right over here.
Yeah. Same old, same old.
Same. Papa, how about yourself?
I'm good. Hey, dude, I think I might have misheard you, but I'm really excited to kick off our new cycle, the Neo-Neo-Noir movie cycle.
Let me just kind of clarify. We were doing Neo-Neo-Noir, and did you just say Neo-Neo-Noir?
Yeah, the Neo-Neo-Noir movies. I messaged you guys earlier. I was asking what it meant with the extra couple Neos. So I guess we picked movies about. So it's a Neo-Noir movie that came out after 1980. That has some connection with The Matrix.
That's not correct.
Okay, that's
serious.
I don't remember that second half you talking about.
Yeah.
You got
1980. Yeah, I know. It seems like a random year.
But, it does kind of seem like you do jump in and out of the group chat like a little bit, but it was just Neo-Neo-Noir.
Just Neo. So there's not the third Neo.
There's not the third Neo.
No, just two Neos.
I mean, so my assumption is, I looked at the movies you guys chose, and it seems pretty obvious that you went with Neo-Neo-Neo.
Okay, can you elaborate on that?
Indulge us.
Yeah.
Indulge you? So Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Obviously, I picked that because Lawrence Fishburne's in it. Do you remember Lawrence Fishburne in the movie?
I don't. I just watched it last night. It's not.
Pretty sure he wasn't in there.
Did you watch it on Prime?
Did not watch it on Prime.
See, so when you watch it on Prime and you push pause during the movie, and then it just shows you these are the different actors that are in this scene.
Sure, like the famous X-ray thing that they do.
Yeah. So if you click on the scene where it's Michelle Monaghan, she's talking about that commercial she did, and then they show the clip. It's like Genero's beer.
Right.
So apparently Lawrence Fishburne does the voice of the bear in the Genero's beer commercial. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So I knew that. That's why I picked the movie.
This is about a 3-second thing and like a 2-hour run it. But okay, yeah, just blink and
everybody on Reddit knows this. I don't know how you guys don't know this.
Oh, okay. I'm personally I'm on Reddit a bit, but mostly to kind of do my own research, on things that are my.
All right, fact checking. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Look it up. Let's see. What about
it's kind of things like how Dana Carvey is actually the other mime in Spinal Tap. So. Okay, cool. Lawrence Fishburne was the bear, completely paused.
He's a bear. We
got three other movies. We got 3 other movies, and
I think it's there. It was pretty obvious to me. So Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Do you remember how it starts out and they're Roger Rabbit's filming that movie with Baby Huey, and then it kind of cuts out a frame, and then it has the director come on and he's yelling at them.
It's sort of a mislead. You think you're watching a different thing.
Exactly. You're well, these are these cartoons, and then this human comes in the middle of the frame. And you're what's going on? So that guy is named Joel Silver. He's a famous producer, and he also produced the movie The Matrix. If you guys have heard of it,
I had never seen it.
Yeah. So it's. His name was Raoul J. Rowell, the director in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Guys, Reddit, it's all over the place.
Produced. I'm learning this about The Matrix. I'm learning this about Roger Rabbit. He also produced, I think, the movie we're talking about tonight.
He did. Right? He did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He actually did most of the films that Shane English had wrote or directed.
Lethal Weapon sort of being the big one.
Lethal Weapon. He did Predator.
Okay. So kind of going from that, let's kind of put a pin in the most interesting one. But so the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang makes sense. Roger Rabbit makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there a Matrix connection to Dick Tracy. I mean, there's a lot of different sort of. I mean, like last generation celebrities mostly.
Guys, you haven't heard about this? I mean, so apparently Madonna was cast for the role of Trinity.
Really?
And she turned down the role. Did you hear about this?
Okay.
That's not true.
It's true. It's true.
Huh.
Oh,
Look
Okay.
up
wow.
AI.
99.
Google
What
AI.
was Madonna actually doing in '99?
Dennis Rodman, I think.
Okay, well that's yeah.
What was that? What was that movie she did where she was like the Mexican
Evita.
Evita. I think
Okay.
that was around the same time.
Right.
She had a hot streak for a while.
Well, I suppose kind of looking at the two options. I mean, like on paper, at least sort of pre it coming out, like the Matrix didn't kind of really look like too much, but yeah.
No,
It's
like
interesting because I just saw on
screaming
Twitter
at
the
your
other day
face.
like a photo of Carrie Ann Moss had like a 20-second appearance on Baywatch, and it just looks like Trinity in like a red bathing suit and a really freakishly giant wig. This is completely true and like not making.
I buy it. I support that.
Okay. So those are three movies, and those are three kind of a little kind of tenuous, especially with the bear, but those are reasonable. But the 2016 Korean Park Chan-wook film, The Handmaiden, I can't see how there would be like a Matrix connection there. Like,
I mean, I have a this was a harder one. I have a few ideas. I mean, you're a complicated kind of guy. I just figure you wanted to challenge me. So I just, threw a bunch of stuff at the wall and hopefully something sticks.
All right, let's hear it.
So I mean, Neo is in the Matrix, and the movie The Handmaiden was based off it's a Neo-Victorian adaptation of the book Fingersmith.
Okay.
So
The Fingersmith.
there's
Yes.
yeah,
It's going to be incredibly funny
Fingersmith.
once all three of you have actually watched this film.
which we all read in high school, of course. Fingersmith. Everybody's aware. Everybody in Reddit read Fingersmith because they're avid readers.
Again, not what I go to Reddit for personally, but
I wouldn't want to look up Fingersmith on Reddit. That's for sure.
You get a lot of pictures of Keanu Reeves.
Right.
Or Madonna as Trinity, photoshopped. Let me see. Let me try this again. The Handmaiden and the Matrix share thematic similarities.
Thematic similarities. Okay.
Such as deception, manipulation, and the exploration of free will within a constructed reality, which I came up with all by myself.
I can neither confirm nor deny because I haven't seen.
See, look at you can't really. I just threw a bunch at you, and I think that's enough. I mean, you could also say maybe Old Boy was a direct influence for the John Wick series. Which think about it, the scene where he's just
like the highway,
the hallway, and
fight.
trying to escape from. Yeah, we don't want to ruin it for the guys because they're eventually going to see it. But the big fight scene that he's famous for, I mean, and John Wick was Neo.
Right. Well, I have this to say, like I think
I got it pegged. I think I got this.
Like the work that you kind of put into this, the continuity you put into this. I know that we need to be, all of us need to be a bit more kind of diligent about what gets talked about on the group chat, because I don't want Eric kind of going into like the last cycle of the season thinking we're doing BBBB movies, where it's like he thinks like everything it's like a BB like B movies, but it also has to have either an appearance by somebody who was in the B movie or by BB King. I suppose that would actually be BBB movies.
Oh, fun fact, by the way,
So.
BB King recorded a song with Robert Downey Jr. Not a joke, and he put it out on I think the one album that he released in his entire career, music career,
which he was actually writing during the making of the movie we're going to discuss today.
That's true.
So I think I'm convinced.
Are you convinced? I mean, I think John just should have picked better. That's all. I think you should have picked Matrix.
Okay.
I'm 100% convinced.
Well,
yeah.
So if that's the case, can you
Mm.
guys just tell that to my wife, because she doesn't believe me?
Because we've not actually watched The Handmaiden yet, this would really be the perfect time for me to ring like a tiny bell. But I promise you guys, next week, that's going to be like the funniest thing you've ever heard in here.
Yeah.
Moving on. Should we talk about noir movies like a little bit before we keep going?
Sure.
Go for it.
Andy, I want to kind of like sort of get a little bit of. Let me kind of sort of read through like this top view thing first. I'd like you for like talk like a little bit about why this was like an interesting, why you were interested in kind of doing this as a thematic cycle for the show. But then after that, kind of it was really interesting kind of researching like this. There's more research and conversation and scholarship on this genre movie than about anything else you can look at. So let me read kind of real quick my really kind of distilled down kind of summary of like everything I've been looking at like the last couple of days. So American noir film has its origins in the hard-boiled crime fiction of the 1920s and 30s that emerged in the rise of organized crime and corrupt law enforcement during Prohibition and the Great Depression. Famous hard-boiled literature detectives include Philip Marlowe, Sam Spade, Lou Archer, and Dick Tracy, all kind of characters you've probably heard of. Classic film noir rose out of this literary genre in like the 1940s and 50s, borrowing heavily from German black and white expressionist film, and also adding in the emotional and thematic elements of trauma that many Americans were suffering following the Second World War. The most famous noir of like the original 40s and 50s eras include film by John Huston, Bill Wilder, Orson Welles, Fritz Lang, Alfred Hitchcock. The precise definition of what constitutes a noir film is still an ongoing debate. The early noir subgenres ranged from crime film to procedurals, from gothic romances to stories about kind of general social issues. Protagonists in noir film were often private investigators, but could also be things like plainclothes police officers, aging fighters, petty criminals, or very often just simply victims of circumstance. French critics Bourdet and Chamarton famously defined noir film by 5 distinguishing tonal elements. Noir films in sort of kind of different proportions, they said across the board could be dreamlike, strange, erotic, ambivalent, and cruel. Now, kind of coming out of this, neo-noir is very generally the term for films that were made from the 1960s onward, drawing inspiration from the classical noir period, but also adapted to more contemporary sensibilities, including increasingly kind of graphic depictions of sex and violence. Neo-noir saw a particular surge in popularity during the 1980s, with works by kind of more conventionally artists like Brian De Palma, Michael Mann, and more sort of experimentally with directors like David Lynch and the Coen brothers. Noir work is not exclusive to American filmmakers either, with directors like Park Chan-wook, Jean-Pierre Melville, Akira Kurosawa, and Jean-Luc Godard all making really substantial contributions over like the different kind of decades to the genre. So Andy, this was your choice, and your choice specifically, let's do noir, but let's also do noir from like the 80s onward, which kind of led us to kind of call this cycle Neo-Neo-Noir. But you want to say like a few words about why this one was interesting to you?
Sure. I've always found, so I didn't always know that they were called neo-noir movies, and in fact, for a long time, I wouldn't have even known what, the term noir meant or neo-noir meant. I always, as a kid, was drawn to private eye movies, crime type stuff, even, and we'll talk about this a bit later, but even like, in some of the media that I was consuming at that point, which was, I wasn't watching the adult stuff so much as I was, cartoons and whatnot.
Right.
Those elements even showed up in that stuff. And I always just found it fascinating. And without being able to put my finger on it, it made me feel a certain way that I always thought just was kind of cool. I don't know if it was the mystery of it or if it was the romance.
The combination of kind of tones and characters and themes. It's compelling, and I mean it's been compelling to many people for, I didn't know this myself, but like kind of close to like a century at this point.
Yeah. So it's just always been something that I kind of was, I gravitated towards. I never really, like I said, I never really thought much about it until we were trying to come up with new cycles for, these next rounds. And as I was, flicking through Google or whatever I was looking at different film genres, it just popped out at me. And I thought to myself, man, first of all, there's a huge breadth of different types of movies that could be watched for that, for that genre, which I think is represented by the stuff that we picked.
There's a lot of variety. You can take like the red pill or the blue pill if you want.
I looked at that list and I was not fully convinced all of those movies listed there were actually fit the definition of neo-noir.
But here's like the thing. This is something people have been arguing about for as long as like those movies have actually existed.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's even looser a category than something like mockumentaries actually is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which for all the time we spent talking about mockumentaries, the only thing we really narrowed down is not Strange Brew. But
Yeah, they're really hard to fucking identify.
Andy, so kind of follow-up question on that though. Why confine it to like the 80s outward? Did you just feel like it would be more interesting to talk about something more modern, or what was your thinking there?
Yes, I think it was in part that. I also thought that the films after pre-80s, and maybe I should have defined it as 70s and later or something like that. But I thought that the stuff that came earlier, while interesting to watch, may not have kind of driven the conversation. It wouldn't have been quite as, I don't know, palatable to modern ears, I suppose.
I'm sure.
Because there's a lot of stuff that that would be considered noir or neo-noir that came in, like you said, the 50s, the 60s.
I mean, like literally starting in like 1940s, literally like ongoing while World War II was still being waged.
Yeah. I just thought that for the four of us, we'd have maybe a little bit more fun with more modern takes on it. Although I say that in 1980 was 44 years ago, so it's not that modern anymore. But
yeah.
So pre-noir.
Yeah, right. You're right. 45.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's kind of why I picked it. I just thought it would be an interesting thing. We hadn't really done a lot of this type of genre, this type of movie.
Sure.
I guess we've done a couple, but not a ton. So anyway, just thought it'd be fun.
Yeah, I thought it was great. So just kind of a general question for the panel, and this is something that kind of like as I was reading, kind of in preparation for this episode, I sort of got thinking about, but noir, or at least the kind of the conventions, the cliches of noir, just things about the private eyes, detectives in like the long trench coats, like femme fatales, the dames with legs from here to yaya, like the voiceover narration, the snappy dialogue, just always filming New York City, it's like 3 a.m. I mean, so much of this is so popular and prevalent in American culture that it's even referenced kind of constantly in sort of children's entertainment. So I kind of want to put out to you guys, after thinking about this a bit, like, what are your first memories of seeing noir type kind of genre or kind of iconography represented on screen?
Noir. It's weird. So I immediately jumped to Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Sure.
Because that, I think of there's probably a lot of those movies that you say neo-noir, so again, show me the list. I'll take a look and see what feels right. But at the same time, it's like, as a kid, I think that was the first time I was like, okay, something's going on. It's a murder mystery. You have to think too, when you're young, it's like your parents don't always let you watch those kind of films.
Right. But not even those kind of films, but I'm kind of thinking more like the number of times in kind of old Looney Tunes stuff or Animaniacs or whatever.
Oh, sure.
Parody things like Cary Grant or Humphrey Bogart or like the Maltese Falcon, like any of that stuff,
It's 100% Looney Tunes for me. That's the first thing I put on my list. It's the earliest thing I could come up with, because the next closest thing after that, actually, I don't know what chronologically came first, whether it was Roger Rabbit again, as you mentioned, Eric, or Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I don't know which was first. I think Roger Rabbit was first.
Roger Rabbit came out earlier, I believe. Yeah.
So it probably went Looney Tunes and then Roger Rabbit, and then that's, and it's not all of Batman the Animated Series, but it's definitely there are episodes that are very much have that feel to them. There's other stuff too, but I just, in my head, like, I immediately pictured Bugs Bunny in the trench coat with the hat.
Yep.
Doing the thing. What about you, Naveen?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say the cartoons and things would be the first one. I mean, back then, I just thought they were parodying a movie, not knowing it was noir, neo-noir. I was like, oh, okay.
It was just the thing, like every once in a while, there's
Yeah.
like a saxophone and Bugs Bunny's in a trench coat, and
Whichever one, even like The Simpsons or something like that. There are a few little scenes that they throw in there.
constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, not knowing it was noir at the time, but it was probably definitely the cartoons, and that would parody them the most. And it's what I watched mostly as well, with my first endeavors into that, genre and style of movies.
Sure. Eric, there's an old school Nintendo game that was made by the same studio that did Shadowgate.
Yeah.
And it's in a very similar style to Shadowgate, but it's called Deja Vu. Do you have any memory of this at all?
So I was gonna say, if you think about the theme in terms of video games, I played a lot of like neo-noir type games. There was a series of games called, the one you're talking about is Deja Vu. I played that one pretty early on. They made a sequel to that. If you got the Game Boy version, you could play both of them, and it actually picks up right after the sequel picks up after the first one finishes.
But you want would you like for like the co-host to kind of like describe like the video game, like
Deja Vu?
Yeah.
What type of game it is?
Yeah.
There was it's best way to describe it. It's kind of like a point and click exploration type game. So Deja Vu, I believe was, if I remember, you kind of wake up, you're in your office, you don't remember what happened. You look
You're like
around
a
the
40
room,
style hard-boiled
like
gun
Myst or something, one of those kind of games where it's kind of like you open to a scene, you're given some backstory, and then you have certain actions on the right-hand side, which could be like hit something, pick something, talk to somebody, open something. And so what you do is you just kind of explore your surroundings and collect items, and then from there, kind of the story unravels as you do certain actions, and then you move on to different areas. There might be situations where you have to use the things you collected to solve a mystery, or maybe there's somebody pulls a gun on you, and if you have a gun on yourself, you can use that to shoot somebody or make a different decision. So it's a fun kind of game. They had a bunch of those though. I mean, that was early on Nintendo that came out. There was Shadowgate, which is another famous one, not Neo-Noir, but there was also the Tex Murphy series. Sure. I fell in love with these games because it's actually not quite the same, but similar vein to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, where it's a detective. He's kind of like, he's like an anti-hero. He's kind of makes a lot of jokes. What it is every time you talk to people, you meet lots of weird people, hot chicks, and the choices you're given for dialogue go from being like normal to just like hysterically funny, like stuff you shouldn't say to people. And you can pick these choices, and sometimes the wrong ones are the right ones because people let their guard down, or if you keep pushing them too much and it helps break them down kind of thing by insulting them. But it was also one of those games like Myst where they had actual like people that they filmed, and then they had they would animate the dialogue kind of games, but
yeah. I mean, it's interesting to kind of look at the history of these things because like I said, like the literature side of it had kind of came up with these kind of stories from like the 20s and 30s about the rise of organized crime and the rise of just kind of like corruption within government officials, within just kind of law enforcement, because everybody was kind of just desperate to get their hands on alcohol, and there was so much kind of money and sort of pressure sort of being kind of like sloshed around.
Let me ask this question. I was just thinking about this. What about Inspector Gadget?
There we go.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Inspector, just saying. He inspects stuff.
Yeah.
I watched that like religiously as a kid.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Here's an idea. So here's a real question. Did Inspector Gadget have PTSD? Was he in Nam? Did he step on a landmine? Is he mostly robot parts now because they had to kind of sew him back together, RoboCop style? I mean, this might be.
I feel like he doesn't have his full brain. Like he has most of a brain, but he doesn't have enough to make like rational decisions.
Right.
Like,
that's why he needed Penny.
He needed Penny.
Brain.
Right.
Brain. There we go. That was his brain.
Did the part of his brain that sort of got like kind of knocked out like end up in the dog?
Like Dogman?
Ooh, Dogman.
Look at this. We're drawing the lines.
There we
It's kind
go.
of like we are in our own neo-noir
Right.
universe.
We're down the rabbit hole right now, dude.
Started with gummy bears, went to Inspector Gadget,
hmm
went back to gummy bears because they're delicious.
Mhm.
They
I
are.
see it. It's screaming at me.
But the interesting thing, I think, like one of the core sort of conceits of like the noir genre is the guys are usually, it's snappy dialogue, they're wisecracking, they're funny, they kind of keep going in spite of all odds, and they seem to be sort of largely immune to kind of injury or pain, whatever else. This is a thing that's been written about very, very extensively, but like an aspect of that was that the conceit behind like a lot of the original noir characters is they're coming back from war. So the fact that they're kind of funny and the fact that they don't seem to kind of mind getting like the shit kicked out of them is because they are actually dealing with some degree of injury or PTSD, or like what they kind of saw in battle, like overseas, has just kind of just made them eccentric or crazy or kind of like off kilter in some kind of way.
That's fair.
Interesting thought.
Yeah.
I just had another one too. Did you guys ever play Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego back in the day?
Uh-huh.
And of course, watch the
Yeah.
show as well. Because that's another one that was relatively early on
Mhm.
that had aspects of it.
Mm.
Anyway,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, like, there are kind of two like pretty big sort of touchdowns for like the touchstones for people our own age, outside of kind of like sort of like kind of daytime cartoons with this, but those are both in movies we're going to be covering like a little bit down like down the line. Why don't we kind of get into the movie we're covering tonight?
let's do
Go
it.
for it.
Let's do it.
All right. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a 2005 neo-noir action comedy written and directed by Shane Black, starring Robert Downey Jr., Val Kilmer, Michelle Moynihan, and Corbin Burnson. Synopsis in brief. This is going to be the worst one I've ever done on the show. Synopsis in brief.
Nobody can see what you're doing.
Nobody can see what I'm doing. Little on the
Well, we
nose.
can see what you're doing.
Yes.
But our,
Little on the
John
nose.
put his one finger
Our
on his
listeners-
nose and he's
Uh-huh.
pointing at us.
Perfect.
Like you know what he's
for-
talking about. Him.
Right.
Johnny solved the crime.
Ah.
What was it?
Ah.
Did you find
Perfect
Neo?
for an audio medium
Hiding?
for sure.
right.
Right. Andy, if you can make some artwork to kind of put in post.
Sure, I can figure something out.
Don't do it. Nobody wants this. Don't do this.
I've been studying all day for a job interview. I'm very, very tired.
John's like, give me this. I've earned this.
Give me.
Don't yell at Andy and tell him what to do. You know how hard
I
Andy
just
works?
said everything in a very reasonable tone of voice.
I've solved the mystery. John's being a bastard. Andy, don't do it.
Not for nothing, but this is the guy with no job telling the guy with 2 jobs to do more work. I'm just gonna say that. Putting that out there.
Dude, yeah. Just those who can't labor get into management.
Wait a minute. Andy, I think you got it. I think you got it. I think you got it.
Uh-huh.
I think you got it. Finger my nose. I think you
Late
got it.
capitalism, baby. Sean Black.
Sean?
Shane Black.
Shane Black.
Him too.
Who had previously worked primarily as a Hollywood screenwriter. Writing credits include Lethal Weapon, The Last Boy Scout, Last Action Hero, The Long Kiss Goodnight. Based the film partially on a 1941 early classic noir, like I said, Brett Holiday novel called Bodies Are Where You Find Them. The script was worked through several drafts and editions before being picked up by Lethal Weapon producer Joel Silver. Despite critical acclaim, the movie currently holds about an 86% positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The film really underperformed commercially, barely earning back its $15 million budget. However, the film provided a career restoration to Robert Downey Jr., who was subsequently cast in Iron Man by Jon Favreau on the strength of his performance here. This is a review from Peter Bradshaw, writing for The Guardian UK. The chemistry is all in Harry's odd couple relationship with Gay Perry Shrike, the gay private investigator with drop-dead expensive suits and an attitude of gorgeous contempt for Harry's uncool existence. Perry is played by Val Kilmer, who gives a hilarious performance, easily the best I can remember seeing from him. Kilmer even makes jowliness seem sexy and carries off everything with supreme style, even at the height of his exasperation with a hapless Harry. Black Surprise Tarantino-esque flourishes of catastrophic accidental violence from Harry, which elicit eye-rolling impatience from Perry. I can only say for me that it was just clever enough by half, with cracking one-liners which continue right to the closing credits. So,
because watching this film, I felt okay. I'm not as savvy as Robert Downey Jr., but I have some of the humors that Robert Downey Jr. has. I think I felt like that relationship between like Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr. in the film. I wanted to say that was a reflection of our friendship, where it's just like, I mean, I'm calling you gay Perry, which is kind of like the opposite of what you are, but you're like gay Perry. But
Papa, are you addressing me directly here? It's just like the two of us.
Yeah, I have my finger. So. If people can't see, I have my finger on my nose, and then I'm pointing at myself, and then at John.
I was just watching something the other fucking night, and now I can't remember what it was. I'm like, this is my friendship with Eric, but it had nothing to do with
this. Is a better one, yeah.
It's not great, but it's. I was watching this movie last night and be like, this Val Kilmer's gay Perry character is basically one of Eric's 5 Inside Out characters. That's what it kept coming back to.
There you go.
This is a full 20% of your personality that's just screaming at you all the time. Like,
all right, I'm gonna go now. Die.
He's back, folks. So, Papa, this one was your pick.
Yes.
Tell us like a little bit about why.
So, thinking about all the great movies that came out in the early 2000s, I think this was just another gem that came out at the time. And it's funny because the first time I saw it, I instantly fell in love with it. I thought, not just Robert Downey Jr., but Val Kilmer, Michelle Monaghan, just all three of them worked together so well. The chemistry was just so good. And then the movie just gives you, I don't know, for me personally, it just gave me all the things I would look for in a movie, where it's funny, there's violence, there's mystery, there's nudity, just all these things that make a wonderful movie.
Last but certainly not least, right?
Nudity.
Yeah.
Nudity. Yeah. I should have started with nudity and with nudity.
And ended with nudity. Yeah. It's
about the genre. It is as a baseline pretty sexy.
But I mean, this movie, it's that I think rewatching it now, the thing that caught my attention right away, it's just such a smart, well-written movie. I don't know how like this, and for Shane's this is directorial debut, which just blows my mind. Because I mean, the flow of the movie, just how they reveal the mystery, just the way the characters interact and the performances. I think it speaks more towards like these actors. They just all are, veteran actors by that point.
Right.
That they just know what they're doing. But it was just such a great movie, and I actually bought the movie after I had first seen it 2005, and I had my copy sitting on my shelf, untouched, unopened. And I literally threw it out last year because I'm like, DVDs are a dying medium. Let's watch it online. So I just tossed that and should have kept it. I would have saved myself $3.75.
I just looked it up. Like there's not a ton of great Letterboxd reviews, but my absolute favorite is this one-liner that this is from a Letterboxd user named Fran. And she said, 4 stars. This very quickly went from, wow, some fun dialogue here, to please don't kill my 3 new friends.
It's true, though. I love how they connect. I mean, well, at least for like Harry and Harmony, that they both have the connection of growing up in, where was it, like Indiana together. And then they were at the state fair, and he's just doing like the, saw the girl in half trick. With his buddy, and she just starts screaming, and the dad comes over to save her.
She's just like, I've got to do my artistic thing. Like I got to put this version of myself out there.
She's gonna be an actor.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, I thought it was good. What I saw in it back then, it's the same thing like Big Trouble in Little China. I don't know why I didn't come back to it sooner.
Sure.
I think one of my favorite jokes in the film, by the way, that I wrote down is it's when it's towards the end of the movie when they're at the hospital. And they go up. It's Harry and Gay Perry, and they go up to like that crazy woman, and she's sitting there making like it's like a Santa out of clay or something like that.
Right.
And then they're looking for Harmony because they think Harmony's been kidnapped, and so they're like, "Excuse me, miss." And Harry's like, "Hey, have you seen this?" And he shows a picture on a really old mobile phone, by the way, of Harmony. And the woman looks at it and she goes, "Ooh, I don't like him. Kurt Cobain. He took my cricket." And I did not expect it. And again, I probably heard that joke at the time and just lost it as much as I did when I watched it.
Do we want to go around the horn real quick and like and just knock out like our favorite jokes from the movie?
So many good jokes. All like 3/4 of my notes are jokes.
Yeah,
there were a lot.
Yeah. Naveen, Andy, you got something on top?
I enjoyed the one where, Gay Perry and Harry get into another argument at one point, and Harry just yells out, "Don't quit your gay job."
That was good. Eric actually, I think, said one of my favorite ones, which was the when Gay Perry is driving off and he yells out "die" or something like that. But I also love the visual of it where Robert Downey Jr. is sitting on the ground. He thinks that his, love of his life has just been murdered or killed or killed herself or something like that. And he's leaning up against the car. Gay Perry reaches out,
get off the car,
pushes the back of his head off the car because he wants to drive away.
Yeah.
That was really funny. I laughed out loud at that one.
That was a good one.
There was funny stuff throughout the whole movie, though. I mean, like,
seriously,
just about everything Val Kilmer said, and
honestly,
I very much agree with
the still gay joke.
Yep.
Harry's like, "So still gay?" And he's like, "Me, nah. I'm knee deep in pussy now. I just like the name so much I can't get rid of it."
Yeah, that was really funny.
When Downey finds the corpse in his hotel shower. And he's panicking, and he calls up Perry, and he's just like, "What do I do? What do I do?" And he's like, and he's like, "Okay." Perry's like, "Okay, the first thing you got to do, you got to go find some gloves." He goes, "Okay, what kind of gloves?" He goes, "On."
Yeah, that was really funny.
And I like, unrelated to anything, I do want to very quickly, because I saw the Predator movie, the original one, where Shane Black actually plays one of the militia guys and has a writing credit on the movie. But he had 2 jokes he wrote himself that he added into one. I just wanted to shout out my favorite one real quick. He's trying to tell the other guys in sort of like the commando squad, he's trying to make jokes and get everybody to lighten up. But God damn it, I love this joke. He's going like, "So I was going down on my girlfriend the other night, and she heard, 'Wow, you have a big pussy. Wow, you have a big pussy.' And she says, 'Why did you say that twice?' And I said, 'I didn't.'"
I remember that joke.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he was actually in. I didn't know that was him. I'm looking at the picture now, and of course I know the character. I had no idea that was him.
Build. He was good looking cat back in the day. I mean, he was like mostly famous for his writing stuff, but he was in like a surprising number of like pretty interesting films.
I'm just shocked how many great movies he wrote the script for, or that he's actually they have him listed as like a script doctor for a number of movies as well,
which is what he did for Predator, among like a lot of others.
Yeah, because I was wondering why he was involved with like the latest Predator, and then I was like, "Oh, look at that! Way back then, he was actually involved."
All right.
I love the joke, and I guess this was a running joke. They because Shane Black also did Iron Man 3, that he carried this joke over. But the one where Robert Downey Jr. is at the bar with Melissa Moynihan, and he's like, "Hey, over there." He's like, I think he says like, "On your 6, Native American Joe Pesci." And then they show him, and I was like, "Fucking dead on."
Yeah.
So good.
Every single
so
one.
Good.
Yeah.
Naveen, Andy, kind of general impressions. What do you think about the movie?
Okay, I would say this is my 3rd favorite performance of Val Kilmer. In my opinion, he steals the movie for sure.
Right.
The only other the only two movies of his that I prefer are number 2, the movie Top Secret,
Yeah.
and number 1, Real Genius. But
That's No Doors.
no, I hate the Doors. The Doors
Come
are a
on,
shitty
what?
band, and that's a shitty
Oh.
movie.
Oh.
Sorry, man. That's one of the most overrated bands of all time.
What do you do for a job again?
That's why I'm the authority. That's why I know.
Yeah, I know.
But
sorry, we're cool.
What do you do for one of your several jobs again?
Oh yeah, one of my two.
You're like Eric. You die. Continue, John.
Yeah, Eric, go die. So when I finished the movie, I was. It took me a minute. I was kind of like, did I just like that movie, or did I really like that movie? And I kind of landed on I just liked that movie. But now in the 24 hours plus since I watched it, it's sort of grown on me in my own head to the point where now I know that I have to revisit it. I have to watch it again because it's one of those movies that so much happens so fast, especially dialogue wise.
Yeah.
Totally miss stuff. And I guarantee that there are, half a dozen jokes in there that are absolutely brilliant that just sort of skimmed by me because I was so, I was watching all the frantic action.
Despite almost running 2 hours, it is an extremely dense film for not just like the dialogue and the jokes, but like the things that kind of happen in the foreground, the things that happen in the background of it.
Yep, for sure.
Say, how they have the different days, and when they hit day 4, and they're like, "Can you solve the mystery?" Like Robert Downey as the narrator asks that, and I was like, "I don't know. I have no idea what's going on."
No,
oh, good. I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
I had no clue. But I just, I think it checked all the boxes for me, kind of like you said, Eric.
Yeah.
It had all the elements of the types of movies that I gravitate towards. And it's funny too, because prior to kind of researching for this particular movie, I wasn't really familiar with Shane Black's game. I didn't know like all the stuff that he was involved in.
Right.
And I look at the movies that he was involved in.
Continuity of his career and everything that he's had a hand out of the stuff that you liked growing up. It is.
They're all the movies that like I look back on and I love. Even Lethal Weapon. Forget what Mel Gibson turned into, but man, the Lethal Weapon movies, phenomenal. Predator, one of my favorite action movies of all time. The fact that he was involved in some way in the Iron Man movies, although it was the third one, which wasn't great, but whatever, there's a ton of movies in there that are just amazing, just so good. It stands to reason that I would like this one as well.
Right. My standing thing with Iron Man 3 has always been they really wanted to make a Kiss Kiss Bang Bang sequel. And just with like the Hollywood studio system being the fucking thing that it is, that's the closest they could kind of get to it.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I kept thinking when I watched this movie though too, I'm like, so again, Shane Black had worked on like Lethal Weapon. He wrote Lethal Weapon, but I'm like, what if he was like, I'm gonna make this like a Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, a Lethal Weapon movie, or pull in like Mel Gibson and Danny Glover,
right,
or something like that. I don't think the chemistry would work at all.
Well, it's interesting seeing like the other people that they were looking at. I mean, Johnny Knoxville was one of the alts.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Thank God they dodged that bullet.
You know what though? I'm looking back again. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm looking back again at some of the other stuff. So The Nice Guys, which was in 2016, is a great movie. But then when you go a little bit further, it's really good. The last Boy Scout's really good. Last Action Hero's really good. I didn't realize he was involved with the Monster Squad.
Yeah, that's such a good movie.
One of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. RoboCop, he was part of that whole world. Hunt for Red October. I mean, this list is absolutely stacked. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Right. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you don't have kids.
Yeah, no shit. God damn.
I don't know what that's like.
Oh yeah.
No.
Just ask Seth Rogen.
Yeah. Fair. He seems to be doing okay.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Naveen, gentlemen,
Kong.
the last season of Invincible was fire. Was so goddamn good. Like he's bringing great things out into the world.
Yeah, as long as he has good writers working with him, I agree.
Fair enough. Naveen, general impressions.
This was actually the first time I saw it, and it was on my list. I remember it not doing well in theaters, but becoming, basically a cult classic because it did
Some
well.
people sort of talk about like
I
after
was
the
gonna
fact.
say, so you've heard of this movie previously?
I've heard of it, but I never saw it, and I'm glad you chose it because I enjoyed it very much. It was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
The banter was really well done.
Yeah.
I mean, they used it often. The move of, all right, we're gonna throw out this little clue, but then we're gonna derail a little bit and just go back to this love story for a little bit, and then the love story blows up somehow, and then it's like, wait a minute, did you say this? And bring it back to kind of connect your clues. But
I love how non-committal it is with like the romance parts of it, where it's just like he doesn't go all the way and nothing gratuitous happens. He's just like, I think I forget what he says in the movie, Robert Downey Jr. He's just something like, I have a problem with finishing things or something like that, or not going all the way or something. And you see that through the entire
it's
film.
the funny thing about like kind of noir heroes is that there is this odd kind of purity and sort of righteousness about them that to kind of keeps them. It's there are aspects of them that kind of keep them from completely becoming the villain at the end of the day, and like the fact he's actually kind of chaste and cautious and like a little bit kind of withholding from women is an interesting version in this movie.
Yeah, I mean they're all flawed. I think the three main characters at least.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And even Val Kilmer, you might think he's the stable one, but I mean I still question why he has a like a mini pistol he keeps under his balls.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
Bullets, I thought that was just a gay thing.
Yeah, I know. I was like, where do you keep the holster? Is it inside like his boxers or like? I don't know. I just know it's being kept warm the whole time, warm and moist.
Right. Primed, as they say.
Primed, yeah, primed and ready to fire.
Yeah. For me, I like this movie quite a bit. Kind of the second time that I've seen it. I watched it like a few years back. The thing that I circled back again watching this a second time was it's extremely funny. It's extremely well written. The three leads that just are doing sort of career best performances, have like amazing chemistry with each other. The thing that loses me a bit is I think it's not a perfectly executed modern noir film the way that a few other things I've kind of seen in my adult life. Like a Love Lies Bleeding is a perfect movie, like front to back, or something like The Nice Guys is actually kind of like a 2.0 of this film, and it's really, really phenomenal for like this kind of thing.
Yeah.
What loses me a little bit about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is it feels like there's a little too much story in there that they have for their runtime, and I feel like this movie either needed to be like 20 minutes shorter and drop a bunch of stuff, or it need to be like a 6-episode miniseries and kind of give itself like a little bit kind of more time to breathe. Like watching this a second time, I'm like, okay, there are multiple phone calls that Downey has with his daughter back in New York, and that just kind of disappears at one point.
Sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Or the thing with Harmony's little sister, where it's just like you never see her on screen the entire time. It's never completely explained what happened. And it's kind of like in the last 30 seconds, it's like, oh, and then she snuck into like her imaginary dad's house and saw her imaginary dad banging Shannon Sosamon, and then she shot herself, and anyway, she's dead now. So that's about it. Or even like Perry kind of coming in and sort of kind of getting revenge on kind of Harmony's father. It's just like these things, they're all really, really interesting ideas. I don't quite know that the movie had room for every single thing that they're trying to like do the entire time, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it does.
And they should have had more Chuck Chutney.
Chuck
Yes.
Chutney. Yeah,
Chuck
they
should have just
boned.
showed up at one point, probably played by Seth Rogen.
Boned.
Yeah, not enough. Not enough chutney in there. So
Yeah, he's full of chutney.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed a hell of a lot. The thing that sort of gets me even watching like a pretty good noir movie is I spend so much time watching nerd genre nonsense. I watch all the Marvel shows that come out. I watch all the Star Wars shows that come out, and it's empty calories, it's thin gruels. Every once in a while you kind of get something good for that stuff, but like when I watch just about any sort of well-made, smart noir or kind of crime sort of thing like this, it's like if you've been traveling and you're just eating kind of like shitty food, like out of a fast food restaurant or hotel, and then like watching like a really kind of good, smart adult noir movie feels like just sitting down to like a really well-made home cooked meal, like after a little while. And I do have these moments of why do I not watch a lot more of this kind of thing instead of bullshit like Secret Invasion, you know?
I would argue that there isn't. I mean, there's for every Secret Invasion or for every, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, there's 100 Secret Invasions. I mean, there's so much trash out there. Finding a gem like this one, it's just a lot harder to do.
True, but this is also a genre of movies that goes back like 60, like 60, 70, 80 years, depending like on kind of what your sort of the kind of taste for old stuff. It's just sort of like
it's modern though. They reskin it, and I think it feels very modern. The fact that nipple, the nudity, there's the nudity, but there's a lot of swearing. I love the fact they use a narrator though, and I thought that was different than most of these like neo.
I mean, like noir uses voiceover a lot, but they don't use sort of like meta fourth wall breaking narration. Like one scene of like they have the flashback and Downey actually yells at the two extras to get out of the shot before he
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Move out of the way, you two. Yeah.
I love it though when he's like telling this story, and then the whole thing about like the robots. He's talking about robots at the beginning or something like that. He's like, wait, okay, let me backtrack a little about what happened to Harmony. And then he starts telling the story, and then he completely leaves out anything about robots. And he's like, "Oh fuck! I'm the narrator. I just fucked up the story."
That's why this should have been a 6-episode miniseries.
I gotta go back.
Done a lot more stuff with the robots. It's like okay, how's this going? It's like not mentioned.
Yeah. He didn't overstay his welcome. I think it was good.
Along those lines, though, like this is one of the talking points we had. What do you think about like this movie? Despite it kind of not doing that well, it was kind of critically well regarded, but people just kind of shrugged at the time. This is the thing that revived Robert Downey Jr.'s career. Like I said, I think it was this and his performance in David Fincher's Zodiac. He had been in prison for a long time. It basically put him on the map. Jon Favreau really liked both those performances. He kind of like against studio recommendations, cast him in Iron Man, and then obviously off the race here. But do you guys have any thoughts about that?
What do you guys remember him from prior to doing this movie? I mean, other than that one season of like SNL, maybe.
Yeah,
a very weird season.
None of us were watching at the time because it was like 1985.
Right. Yeah, I think he was he and Anthony Michael Edwards, like the guy.
Hall.
Okay.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah. The two youngest cast to ever like be on like SNL. It is he looks like a zygote, like when he kind of like cast photos.
Did you guys did you watch Ally McBeal at all?
No.
This used to be like my pickup line before I got married. I'd be like, so you watch?
I remember being at friends' places and watching an episode or two that he was actually on, and all the women that were in the room were just fawning over him. Like
exactly. He was I think the first love interest for Ally. He was on like the first season, I believe, is where he was introduced, and then he was in the second season. Then he got arrested for like some drug bust or something. I think that was at that time where he's just doing cocaine and heroin and all kinds of bad shit. So he got pulled from the show, but I still remember because I liked watching David E. Kelly shows. I watched like Boston Legal. I didn't realize David E. Kelly did Picket Fences, which I used to watch. But Ally McBeal, that was one that like my mom was watching, and I'm like, it's one of those shows where it's like a lawyer show, but it's also kind of funny and charming.
It was hugely popular around the time we were in college.
Yeah, again, like this is before like Sex and the City and those kind of shows, and so it's like prior to having your Carrie and whatever the guy's name was, Mr. Big or whatever they called him, Big Daddy.
he was like the
It was-
perfect boyfriend character that could never quite be pinned down. Like he was.
Yeah, it was just
cooler
like
than
he was
everyone
this
else.
like charming guy, but he didn't play the same character he plays in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Like he was more charming, and he had like that look that made women's pants all soppy.
Right.
And in this, I feel like it's a whole breakdown of maybe the kind of persona that he gave off for a lot of his earlier performances. And I think he just knocks it out of the park.
There's one episode of Ally McBeal I do remember the first few minutes of, where he's in bed with her, they're asleep. She wakes up and just starts punching him. And he wakes up, he's like, what happened? And then she's like, how could you? How could you? And he's like, what did I do? And she's like, how could you do that in this dream I was just having? And he looks at her, he's like, this dream that you were just having. She's like, yeah, I can't believe you did that. And he went, you can't believe I did that in the dream. Yeah. And she's like, apologize to me. And he was like, I guess I could apologize to you. And she just glares at him for a minute. And she's like, I'm going to go back to sleep. I'm going to get an apology there. And it's in the hands of any lesser actor, it would just be fucking just cringe and annoying. But he plays it so well. Just like the wide-eyed, kind of amused, kind of concerned about her, kind of like what the actual fuck is going on. It's just for a show like the kind of show I was not generally kind of that interested to. I remember just seeing that one scene and be like, that's the absolute best acted the guy in something like that could actually like.
That's what I get with his character. It's just like I don't think people give him certain scripts, but the lines that he can deliver, the way he delivers them, it's hard to see other actors doing it the same way and having that same kind of like just natural, like whatever it is that he has.
To answer your question, Eric, the movie that I kind of associate Robert Downey Jr. with prior to all the more recent stuff is what's the one with Rodney Danger? Oh, Back to School.
Was he in Back to School?
Oh, okay.
He was Rodney Dangerfield's
Ladybugs?
son's.
Better be Ladybug.
Yeah, Ladybugs. Yeah, he was like the friend of the son in the movie.
Okay. He was in he was in a bunch of those 80s movies too. Like he was part of the Brat Pack, wasn't he?
No, he was.
No.
Absolutely.
He was was
Kind
he in
of.
St. Elmo's
Kind of.
Fire?
I don't think so.
No.
That was Rob Lowe was the famous.
He was in, yeah, you're right. Maybe
Rob
it was
Lowe-
like Pretty in Pink, I think it was.
That was John Cryer.
He
No, he
plays
was in
like
Weird
he's not one
Science.
of the main characters per se, but he's like
Oh yeah, no, he was kind of one
Background
like
character.
the dickhead alpha kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was in a couple of those
Yeah.
this movies back in
For
the
me,
day.
I remember, back Back to School and a little bit of Weird Science, but
Oh, yeah,
also
Weird Science. That's right. Yeah.
Less Than Zero, and Chaplin. I did see Chaplin.
Chaplin. Yeah.
Sure. That was right before I think he actually went to jail.
I thought it was after.
After you sure?
He went to jail a couple times. So I mean,
Yeah, there's a few.
yeah, it happens.
Yeah. From God, was it 1997? Two Girls and a Guy. He has kind of like an interesting sort of three-person play with Heather Graham and this other actress called like Natasha.
Was that called Two Girls and a Guy?
Two Girls and a Guy. Yeah.
I remember we rented that in college.
It was
like a big. It was a big night for us.
Uh-huh.
We were like, it's gonna be
Mhm.
like clearly like menage a trois action for like a good half hour, and then it was pretty lackluster.
Then instead it's kind of Columbia University sort of black box kind of theater production. Not a sexy way to spend
was,
Friday night.
What's her name? The girl from Party of Five that was in the Scream movies. I think everybody's excited to see that she's gonna.
No, it
Shows a little
wasn't
bit.
Nev Campbell. It was
Was it Nev Campbell?
It was not Natasha Gregson Wagner.
Who?
Exactly.
You were close.
Yeah. She was her first credit, like her first popular credit is daughter of Natalie Wood. Interesting.
Really?
But I mean, her second like most famous like credit like on Wikipedia is Two Girls and a Guy. So I don't think.
Oh, you're right. Oh, I fucked it up by the way. So, John Hughes,
Neo-Neo-Noir. That's not what we're doing, dude.
No, I read a book about John Hughes, and I remember they talked about Pretty in Pink. John Hughes originally wanted to cast Robert Downey Jr. as the main love interest. There was like 2 in that movie. I'd never seen the movie, but I read about it. And apparently Robert Downey Jr. is supposed to be cast as the main love interest.
Right.
And then like one of the studio execs is like, no, I have this other guy. He's great. And it was like somebody's son. And then he was the one that ended up getting her in the end. I forget his name.
Got it. So, and this movie is sort of primarily being like a noir film, but there's a lot of other genre stuff that it does. It does, romance, black comedy, it's action. This kind of like meta fourth wall breaking. Do you guys feel like? I mean, it sounds like we all generally kind of really enjoyed this movie, but do you feel like there's a better version of it that's purely a detective story, or purely a comedy, or purely like something else?
I mean, it's definitely a mix, but I think that's what makes it a little bit of Neo-Noir, is that it's got that mix and just taking it to a different level and, expanding on that noir theme and making it more contemporary for the time. And
this is at its core like a type of movie that's been made since the early 40s. So, I mean, it's always tough to kind of come up with sort of new shit to do with this kind of thing.
I think it's usually, when I think of noir movies in general, I always think of them as serious movies. Like I think of Chinatown or something.
Sure.
And sometimes I'm in the mood for that kind of movie. But I think if you're trying to, you can always create that type of film. I don't think it's too difficult. I mean, look at like Robert Pattinson books. He's written how many at this point? And they're all the same kind of thing, where it's just kind of like serious, mystery, somebody gets killed and it all plays out and everybody wins in the end. And I think this one, it takes some risks by maybe leaning into a little less. Again, it does have like the noir structure to it. Like it does have those heavy like mystery type themes to it, and like that we've talked about. But I think it leans into some other things. And I think it pays off. I think it works really well. But to your point, Andy, that you mentioned earlier, you get so caught up in the mystery, I think, because it is kind of dense. Or you mentioned, John, it's kind of dense. So I feel like if I did watch it again, kind of understanding already what was supposed to happen, what the mystery was, and how it's been solved, I'd probably focus more on the characters themselves and just their interactions, which I was trying to do the whole time. And I did rewind a number of times. But watching it at the theater for the first time, you probably walk away saying, like, I still don't, I mean, 2005. So you're probably not checking on your phone what happened necessarily, but you're kind of like, I'm not sure still what happened there, because it seems like it was all bullshit in the end. And Robert Downey Jr., Val Kilmer were pretty charming.
In that kind of way is certainly very interesting.
Yeah. The jokes, though, are like laugh out loud jokes. That's why I think those are the things that kind of bring you back to that movie.
Right. So for this movie, and I'm curious if you can guess the other film that I'm kind of referring to here, but there is another noir, technically a noir movie, but also like kind of an absurdist parody movie with like a lot of kind of cross genre stuff and a lot of kind of fourth wall breaking that came out like just a few years before this one. And it very, very similarly has kind of this loser sort of bouncing around the LA area, and he's trying to solve a movie, and it kind of falls in his lap and it kind of doesn't.
I thought you were going to say Ace Ventura or something like that. No. Okay.
It's not Lord of the Cock Rings.
Not Lord of the Cock Rings.
Oh man, that's a classic. We all know how that one ends.
Right. The Big Lebowski for me is looms very, very large like over this one. And I think as much as I like this one, Lebowski is a perfect and complete statement front to back. And it would take a long time to kind of break down the exact reasons of why. But Lebowski for me is one that felt like left a lot of things ambiguous, but that felt far more on purpose, I think, than I think necessarily did in this one.
I think comparing anything to The Big Lebowski is unfair.
It's a fool's errand. I mean,
it's unfair.
Yeah.
It's right.
Yes.
It's right.
Yes.
Because that movie is a masterpiece.
On the nose.
Front to back. On the nose. On the nose.
All right. Do we want to go on to Vigo's Toes?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll go. So Harrison Ford was originally offered the gay Perry role, and decided to pass on it.
Oh God, that's like casting it to John. Not that he's like a Harrison Ford, but just his reaction, kind of those lines. I mean, imagine that delivery.
I still can't remember. Like it was something my brother was watching the other night. I'm like, Christ, that actually is my friendship with Eric.
Imagine John saying the line. He's just like, "This is not a good cop or bad cop. This is a fag in a New Yorker." Imagine that, and now imagine Harrison Ford saying that line.
Right, and then turning into Red Hulk.
I keep the mustache.
This is not a good cop, bad cop situation. This is a Red Hulk and Barack Obama situation. I'll see here.
What's it? Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah,
go, Naveen.
I got a few. Just real quick ones. I thought it was pretty neat. Val Kilmer refused to drink during this to support Robert Downey Jr. sobriety and stuff, to help him out and everything, which is pretty neat. So I wonder, we've been talking about the chemistry between them all, and then obviously there seemed to be some chemistry off the set behind the scenes there.
How well these people get along, or like how specifically well do they not get along, is always like a big question.
Right.
That's what I read too, is that like Val Kilmer, he didn't even finish reading the script. He had met Robert Downey Jr. for the first time. I guess maybe during auditions or something, or through introductions.
I heard it was at a party. Like there was actually
a party. Yeah, was it at a party?
Just like the movie.
Pretty instant connection. So Val Kilmer was, when he found out Robert Downey Jr. was on board, he was on board.
Yeah.
I have something that I don't think any of you picked up on. I have this knack for just like identifying actors when they're young. And early on, Harmony, do you? Yeah?
I know. Go ahead.
Did you pick up on it? Did you pick up on it when you watched it?
I'm trying to remember which character are you talking about?
Harmony, when she was a little girl at the fair, who played the actress?
In the box?
In the box. And
No,
then they
I guess
showed
not.
her later on. Ariel Winter.
Really?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I knew she was in it. I wasn't sure.
I
that
saw
that was
there was when she looked at the camera, I saw her smiling. I was just like, just the
You're
shape
like,
of
holy
her
shit,
face. And I looked it up, and Alex Stumpfy from Modern Family.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that in the cast when I was looking some stuff up.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy because I did the Prime thing where I was like hitting pause, and I'm like, that's her, and it does X-ray, and I'm like, it just had like a credit as like Lil Harmony, like not even little, just Lil Harmony, and then I'm like, and it didn't even list a name, and I'm like, okay, they're just acknowledging that she's in the scene, but nobody fucking knows who she is.
Ariel Winter is Little Harmony, and Lawrence Fishburne as the Chainsaw. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's the bear.
It's some union thing. They got to get like a Foley actress that can record like an actual chainsaw because it costs jobs.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know. It was Lawrence Fishburne's fingernails on a block of wood as the chainsaw. He didn't cut those for like 2 months prior to filming.
My trivia was I didn't look into so much like the movie itself. I spent some time trying to untangle the difference between Michelle Moynihan and Bridget Moynihan. And that kind of went down.
Moynihan or Monahan? I couldn't.
One of them is one, the other one is the other.
I think it's Michelle Monahan.
No relation whatsoever.
By the way, like when I was looking at her, it didn't hit me till afterwards. I was like, dude, she was in True Detective season 1.
Yeah, she was Woody Harrelson.
It blew me away because I'm like, I remember her from something recently, and I rewatched True Detective. I think all 3 seasons last year or something, and I'm like, where the hell is she from? She's so cute, like, and she's also
in a lot of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, she's close in age to us too.
That means you got a chance, Eric.
I could have been there for her. I mean, I didn't. I
Check
didn't
out
try
those
to rob a
Tims.
toy store,
Although
but
it turns out Michelle Moynihan grew up in someplace in sort of Midwest Iowa. Bridget Moynihan, on the other hand, the ex-wife of Mr. Big on Sex and the City, and the absurdly hot woman from iRobot, grew up in Western Massachusetts, so she would have been around
of
the
course you
same.
can say that.
Yeah.
Wasn't she
from
also
East
with?
Brookfield?
Yeah,
Wasn't she with Tom Brady too at one point?
Really?
very possibly.
Bridget who? Right.
Moynihan.
Bridget.
M-O-Y.
Moynihan.
Mhm.
Moynihan.
Wasn't she?
I mean,
Maybe not.
he's kind of a slut, so he's been with
Uh-huh.
his choosing of women.
He's been with his fair share.
No, yeah, she.
He's been at
Moynihan,
least with a quarter of them.
has a kid with
Yeah,
Tom
they have a
Brady.
kid. They have a
Oh,
kid.
really?
Oh, did they really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Another Michelle Moynihan role you guys might know of, like the Dome, just not realize it was her, was she was Casey Affleck's girlfriend and partner in Gone Baby Gone.
I have not seen that movie yet.
Oh, I
That
have
is a good movie.
seen that a
Uh,
while. Yeah.
yeah,
It's been a
but
minute.
she breaks up with him at the end because he has to. Okay. No spoilers for kind of Gone Baby Gone, but I did have in my notes Gone Baby Gone. Is there a more Boston movie? Then later I wrote down, is there a more Boston movie that absolutely should have been shot instead in Worcester, Massachusetts?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I
Interesting
think there's an
take.
argument there.
Interesting take. Yeah, she's been in a bunch. Actually, it's funny. We were watching. So we watched it last night. The previous night, we were watching the show Bad Monkey, which is with Vince Vaughn. It's on Hulu, I believe. I think it's Hulu. He's basically an ex-cop.
Oh,
who-
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
So I'm not a big. I used
hate
to like
Vince
Vince Vaughn a lot. I think
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn is a douchebag.
He hasn't
But-
done anything in the like last 20 years, like let's say.
But I
Probably
will
since
say,
this movie came out.
I had
I
a
will
conversation
say-
with a coworker today actually about Vince Vaughn. I don't know why he came up, and it was just like, tell me a movie where he's not been just Vince Vaughn.
he plays
And I was
Vince.
like,
Yes,
I don't know. He just
Yes.
plays Vince Vaughn all the time.
Yeah.
But you could, I guess, to digress for a second, like RDJ plays RDJ in most of his movies,
Sure.
and we love him for it. So it's a weird double standard that we have.
Or like Chris Pratt. He's always Chris Pratt, whether he's Garfield or like the Lego guy.
Yeah.
Jack Black is another guy that just plays Jack Black.
By the way,
Yeah.
did you see did I share it with you guys, the action figure for Steve from the upcoming Minecraft movie,
No,
which is just Jack Black, like heavy Jack Black action figure with a sword.
that sounds amazing.
He's just wearing a blue t-shirt and jeans, and he has his beard, and he has like the white streak in the middle,
Okay.
and they just show like a creeper. There was like an ad, it shows a creeper chasing him,
Mhm.
and it just looks like Jack Black with a sword running away awkwardly, like Minecraft characters walk.
Who here is actually going to the Minecraft movie?
I have to go.
You
I
have
don't want to go,
Right.
Nope.
but I have to.
Uh-huh. I mean, it just, you say that you're going to go completely by yourself. I'm very aware.
Look, if it was Sonic 4 or 5, I'm down.
None of the whole extended
Minecraft,
family.
no.
You'd be flying in there, like in-laws from like Japan, but it's just, you just
See,
you have the
Minecraft.
choice, just stay home.
Minecraft's not a Japanese movie.
You could
It
just
want
look
nothing to
up
do with this. Minecraft, though.
Minecraft.
Now it sounds like you're speaking German, John. Stop. Just mine. Whose movie is this for? Mine. Minecraft.
Mein Kampf.
Yeah, it's like craft work. Minecraft.
What if after Naveen said Mein Kampf, I was just like,
Yeah. Look. Wow.
now,
That's neo-politics.
we hit 9 o'clock. Now it's the witching hour.
Now.
Mhm.
All right. I got one more Vigos
One more.
before we move
Okay.
on. You guys must have seen this one. The movie was originally titled LAPI Bang.
Yeah.
That was the original working title for it, and Val Kilmer came up with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, that's an objectively better name for the movie.
Mhm.
Seriously.
Well, the movie itself is based on, I think,
Rappy.
somebody associated with the film, maybe Shane Black, but it was from a promotional poster for like an Italian movie where it was just, there was like Italian name, but the way they promoted, like the tagline was "Kiss, kiss, bang, bang," and people were like, that's kind of what people just kind of go to see like a lot of movies for.
It's true.
That's why I go.
Shooting and smooching. Well, on that line, let's move on to our sorbet. Now, our sorbet for the night maybe is like either the best or the worst idea we've ever had for this segment in the history of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But our sorbet is called Kiss Kiss, Marry Marry, Bang Bang, where we have each picked a set of 3 duos for one of the other co-hosts, and you have to make the decision: do you want to give, like, it, so you can't split the duo up? Do you want to give the duo a kiss kiss? Do you want to marry both of them, or do you want to bang bang? That can either be a menage a trois or double murder. It can't be like one and then the other. You know, you can't split the reaction like down the middle.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So we clear on the ground rules.
I think so.
Kiss,
Yes,
kiss,
I'm-
marry, marry, bang, bang. So we have on the list Eric picking for Naveen first. Here we go.
You want to write this down?
Yeah, I'll take notes.
Somebody, I got my. So here are the 3 couples. Okay.
All right.
First one is oh God, I forget what the movie's called. Other than Valkenvania,
Nice.
but I picked Little Devil and Bobo.
The twins.
That's a great
Twins.
call.
Twins. Nothing but trouble. That's what it's called.
Yeah. No.
The next 2 I have are Fonzie and Kermit.
What? Fonzie and Kermit.
Fozzie.
Not
Fozzie. No, Fonzie.
Fonzie is
and Kermit. You can't mix them up. You can't mix
It's
them up.
already on the record. Yeah, Henry Winkler and Kermit the Frog.
Let's go with it. I had 5. I prepared this all in 5 minutes.
Oh,
So.
going, hey. Kermit was like,
Hey, waka waka waka.
I'm putting down Fonzie and Kermit.
Fonzie and Kermit. Okay, let's go with Fonzie and Kermit. Next one, Jean-Claude Van Damme
Okay.
as Guile and Raul Julia as M. Bison.
Oh.
Did you guys pick any of those couples?
Nope.
No.
Really? Wow. Okay, cool. I pulled from our back catalog, so.
Nice.
I came close, Eric, but I didn't sort of bump up against
The
you.
Muppets one would be interesting if you did all Muppets, but I mean.
Gotcha.
All right. Where are we going with this?
Oh man.
Who are you taking the back seat of your car?
Hmm.
And do you have room for 3 in the back of your car?
Who's getting dropped off at 8 o'clock with a little smooch?
Unless you want to kill them.
I'll make room.
Mhm.
All right. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang.
Marry, marry.
Marry,
So you
marry.
got to talk this through. Like, don't keep any of those thoughts inside. Just vocalize everything.
Podcasting
you're
is an
thinking.
audio medium.
Right.
If you're like, hey, look, Fonzie and Kermit have giant holes in their undersides, so they'd be easy to bang bang.
Yeah.
or-
No, I
or
was
kiss.
going.
So does Henry Winkler.
He does. Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, Henry Winkler. Oh, his bottom side is gaping.
Yeah, I was definitely going Fozzie and Kermit for bang bang.
Okay.
Okay. What kind of bang?
Okay. What kind of bang we're talking? So there's
We gotta be specific.
Yes.
it's either sex or murder.
Oh,
Fuck
gotcha.
Come or kill him.
But isn't bang bang also murder?
I thought we were clear on the ground rules.
Come or kill him.
Yeah.
No, you can't fuck them then kill them.
Mhm.
It's not
Right.
like Black Widow shit. Let's go.
You can't kill them, then fuck them.
You could kill
I mean,
4
you
people in
could.
this then?
You could, but if
No.
I think if you
Because the other two are kiss, kiss, marry, marry.
yeah, if you bang them and kill them, you have to end that by eating them. I don't know. I just
Kiss,
like,
kiss, marry,
Frank
marry,
Mantis
bang,
thing.
bang, munch, munch.
Yeah, you just eat their heads.
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
It seems like a lot for Naveen. So we
Yeah.
got bang, we got Fonzie and Kermit. What are we doing?
Fonzie Kermit, yeah, we'll go bang bang. I'll take him in the back seat of a Volkswagen.
Fonzie is a fine fuck. I think he's just
Right.
I mean, Waka Waka.
Kermit is a
No,
great support.
he knows where to put those thumbs.
Right.
Kermit, yeah. Kermit's got those little string bean arms.
Again, you're not getting the frog and the bear. You're getting the frog and 80-something beloved American comedy actor Henry Winkler, just so we're completely clear.
Right.
You could bang Fozzie while Kermit plays like a mean banjo.
Mm-hmm.
You guys could dual banjos.
Someday
Oh.
we'll find it. There ain't no connection
Gotcha.
of a
Connect my
Rima.
rainbow to me.
penis.
Yeah, you want to keep going? Sure.
Keep going. By the way, I just want to point out I picked all guys for you
You did.
because I wanted to make this interesting, and I'm
Right.
not like a homophobe or anything. So
Okay.
No, all good. All good. All good.
yeah, okay.
We're gonna go with
Apparently, I'm Gay Perry in the relationship.
yeah. JVCD's Guile and Raul Julia's Bison as Mary.
All right.
Mary. Wow, that's going to be an abusive relationship.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It's a lot of kicking.
It's just
Jean
like the old
Claude
days.
is abusive, like physically, and Raul Julia just mentally fucking with you the whole
Right.
time.
Although that's an easier situation because like Julia's going to be dead by the following Tuesday.
There is that.
Oh,
Andy just looks so ashamed.
No. Please, come on.
All right.
Come on.
Johnny, why you always play psychologist?
We're going to get there, buddy. BBB movies.
Right.
Actually, we
All
shouldn't
right.
do that because it just sounds like one of us has.
Kiss
Wait,
kiss.
who was-
What's the kiss kiss about?
Yeah, who was the third?
So the Valkenvania
Little
twins are
Devil?
gonna kiss.
Yeah. Go.
Why would you kiss them?
Why not?
Because it's like they're going to get a kiss, but then Naveen's going to go back into the house.
Right. It's all
They
good.
can't follow me when I'm done.
All right.
Right.
All right. So we got Naveen, the Valky. What was it? Gobo
Kiss,
and Little Devil.
Yeah, kiss kiss, little devil, Bobo,
Fonzie and Kermit.
Fonzie, and
Bang
Kermit, not
bang.
Fozzie.
We're not completely clear. Something in the back seat. And the Van Damme Guile and the Raul Julia M. Bison, Mary, but it's gonna be down to like a single Mary pretty quickly. This is an amazing segment so far. Naveen.
Yep.
Kiss kiss, Mary, bang bang. Who you got for me? Set me
All
up.
right. Jack Burton and Wang Chi. So, Big Trouble Little China
Okay.
for you.
Yep.
I'm gonna bring it to the movies here a little bit that we're doing now of Roger Rabbit and Eddie Valiant.
Ooh,
Hmm.
that's like a Fonzie Kermit situation.
All right.
And then out of left field just for fun,
Mhm.
Thelma and Louise.
Come on,
Okay.
Louise. Somebody loves the classics.
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay. Let's see. I'm Mary for Jack and Wang Chi because I just feel like that is a lifetime of fun and adventure I have out in front of me, and it's coming up in New England. It's hard to get access to really good, authentic Chinese food on this coast.
Mm.
Just kind of being situated in San Francisco. I mean, that would be a win.
You're gonna be like,
they have
just
Senate
stays at
property.
home and cooks for you all the time. Wang Chi, you know your place.
Wang Chi, barefoot and pregnant.
All right.
Yeah, cook for Papa.
Yeah.
Okay. Roger Rabbit and Eddie Valiant. You know, there's in that movie there is too many. There are way too many sort of complex sexual and romantic and emotional dynamics there, and I want to give them both like a little smooch on the cheek, but then I'd want to be on my way and sort of let them kind of be on theirs.
Okay.
And
All right.
hold on. So that's kiss kiss. Thelma Louise, that's bang bang because I've seen like 20 minutes of that movie. I didn't care for it, and it's not something I want to deal with.
Which
So you
bang
don't-
bang?
Yeah.
Murder, double murder.
Double
Hmm.
murder.
Yeah.
And you have to eat them afterwards. You know that, right?
That was not clear from the initial rules.
Just the heads. You don't have
You
to
have
eat.
Wang Chi cook 'em up.
However, they're that close to the Grand Canyon. They should have cooking equipment. There should minimally be like a little kind of charcoal grill in like the back.
Yeah.
So I think I'm dumping one of them out of the car. Probably Susan. Never kind of really much kind of cared for her, and Gina's corpse is kind of coming back for me with me to the campsite.
I was gonna say,
Hmm.
kind of like your logic with like Naveen's picks, like they're
Hmm.
gonna fall off the cliff anyway. So you could marry them and then inherit something.
Yeah.
Their vast fortune that they stole.
Did they actually have like a vast fortune, or didn't they just like murder a bunch?
I don't know. I think it was more murder, less money. They had enough to get by.
I watched 20 minutes of that movie again. It was irritating.
Never watched it.
All right. My picks for Andy. Here we go. Eric said earlier, wouldn't it be weird if some lunatic did all Muppets?
Don't pick my name.
Oh no.
Don't be
Statler and Waldorf, Gonzo and Camilla, Bert and Ernie.
Oh, jeez.
That's Statler.
What was the first one?
Statler and Waldorf,
Oh, okay.
Gonzo and Camilla, Bert and Ernie.
Oh boy. Okay, so
This is
I
the best
think-
podcast we've ever done.
Yep, this is way up there.
Should we just
This is
start
way
with
up.
this? I thought Neo-Noir was funny. To myself, I was chuckling, but
Naveen, let's cut this way down. Let's make 44 our first short. That an adult.
You got it.
Okay. So, I think, all right, so Statler and Waldorf and me together in a menage a trois sounds like just complete, just complaining the whole time about our backs hurting and, comments from the peanut gallery and whatnot.
Oh!
Yeah, that's not going to work. That's
you
not.
didn't have to have sex with him necessarily, although I like how you went straight there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not killing any of these guys. Are you
You're like,
kidding
I'm
me?
going to
They're
bang
all-
all 6 of them.
They're all wonderful characters. I can't kill any of them.
Okay, nobody dies.
Nobody dies. Okay, so I'm going to marry. Oh, yeah, Gonzo and Camilla.
Okay.
Because I think Gonzo, similar to what you'd said, Johnny, earlier,
No.
I think Gonzo is going to be a lot of fun. And Camilla can provide eggs, which are very expensive these days.
Absolutely. There we go.
So I think that's my marry. My kiss.
You only have one choice left.
I know. What are you
Well,
left with?
no, I haven't decided on.
He
Statler
hadn't
and Waldorf
completely
yet.
settled on what he's doing with Statler and Waldorf.
No,
yet.
I haven't quite figured that out yet.
Don't
So
do
I-
that weird shitty thing where it's like my wife when I first met her and my wife now, because she's like standing in the back of the room, like in your blurred out background, just watching you. And she's like, if you fuck this up and not mention my name twice, actually, maybe that should have gone for the marry, but
Yeah.
the
It's
kiss
going to
kiss
be
implies you're
murder,
cheating,
stab,
so-
stab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, she knows if it's marry, it's like you're truly committed. So you're being, it must be serious.
Yeah.
But kiss, I mean, that's just kind of flirty. You don't want to be that flirty birdie.
No, definitely not.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna kiss Statler and Waldorf.
Okay.
Because
right.
they're adorable old men.
I'll
How do
die
you
soon
say-
anyways.
Like
They won't tell
Brothers in
anybody.
Ripples, or what's the
Say
flavor?
again?
Yeah,
What's the flavor you're getting off there? Like their foreheads.
Oh, probably like
Mouth drops or
yeah,
Old Spice.
I was gonna say like Vicks Vapo Rub or something like that.
Ugh, it's
And
hot.
Bert and Ernie, bang bang.
bang bang.
And I'm gonna go with the bang bang, not the kill piece of it,
Okay.
because I feel like they'd both probably be bottoms, which
Okay.
means that I don't have to worry about that.
My question is,
Hmm.
what happens if you can't find Bert's nose?
My,
Where is it?
not so much a question, it's a general concern. It's just, this is an out couple living in what seems to be lower Manhattan, like during the 80s. It's just, I support you. I support the journey that you're trying to take. Just please make sure, just proper precautions are.
Protect yourselves, yeah.
Yeah. And remember, they like you to clean yourself before you do anything. So maybe if you want to hop in the bubble bath with them, soap up a
Right.
little first.
Oh,
Then,
cool.
okay.
I'll bring
all
the rubber ducky. It'll be great.
Plus anything weird you want to do is going to cost you 5 bottle caps.
Okay. All right.
And
That was a
and
lot
finally,
more
we have
difficult than
Andy's
I expected.
picks. Mr. Eric.
What do you got?
Okay. All right. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So I've got Violent J and Shaggy Two Dope from Insane Clown Posse.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Forrest Gump and Lieutenant Dan.
Holy shit. Okay.
How many R's in Forrest?
And then finally, I have
I asked
Steve
that genuinely.
Irwin.
Okay.
Steve Irwin and the Stingray.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. That's filth.
Mm.
That is pure filth. Oh man, insane clown posse.
You also have to look at them. You have to know what they look like without makeup. I mean, that's.
I don't think you do. I really don't think you do. So I'll go with insane clown posse for Kiss Kiss
Kiss,
for
kiss.
obvious reasons.
Of course.
You get like, you know, the clown makeup all over your face, and that's kind of fun. You know, play with your food. But you know,
We need to do this segment every week.
what are their followers called?
Juggalo.
And Juggalette.
Juggalos. So yeah, so if they provide the juggalos, I love juggalos, so I can just play with their juggalos.
Yep. All the
Juggalo
Fango
there.
you can drink.
Jug their juggalos.
Uh-huh.
It's like you're dating Gru, but you get the minions as like an added bonus.
I always wonder what they look like underneath. I don't think I've ever explored that, but I mean, there's still time.
Banana.
Banana. This next one is tough. Let me see.
So is this Lieutenant Dan before or after the thing with the legs?
Oh, definitely after.
After the legs.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
definitely.
Nice. So he can't escape. I think I would kill Steve Irwin and the Stingray.
Okay.
It's like something beautiful and just something awful.
Mhm.
I have
Which
to
is
kill.
which, though?
So bang bang, but just how are you taking?
I'm sorry. Yeah,
How-
bang
how-
bang,
how-
bang bang. But I'll kill them.
Mhm.
So I'll bang bang Steve Irwin and the Stingray. Steve Irwin's been gone long enough, so most people forgot about him. So I mean, who gives a shit if I kill him again?
Would you get in a time machine, go back, and just let things play out as they played out?
Kill baby Steve Irwin? Oh,
Just
would I save him? Would I go in a time capsule and save
so
Steve Irwin?
yeah.
Would I take the
It's magic because like
sting for
the
Steve?
Stingray must also be dead, right? So you would need a time machine. You would need to go back to have the option to either murder the two of them or have sex with the two of them.
Oh wow. Okay.
How specifically do you see that kind of playing out? Because the
Also,
option
do we
of just
know
coming
how
back
long
and
Stingrays
doing
live?
nothing is there.
I don't know. How long do stingrays live?
I don't know.
After they get lodged in dude's chest, probably not super long. I think they don't like sun.
It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, if you got stabbed by like a narwhal and it just thrust its like unicorn spear through your chest, and you think like
Okay.
that thing's gonna fucking die with me because I'm gonna drown it.
Right.
I mean, the stingray, Steve Irwin got stabbed. The stingray's like, this is my territory. It just takes him down. Just takes him down underwater.
That's a legitimate question. What did they do to the Stingray? Because
I think
this is not a Timothy Treadwell thing of
It's
like, oh,
like,
we got to take out the bear.
Squid Ink or something. It's just like it uses it and then it just kind of like escapes.
Yeah, it's like a Squidward
Into
thing.
chaos.
You just kill them, and then it's like, wop, wop,
Just
wop.
kill this big fucking gorilla and you're like, that's it. I'm out.
All right.
I'm out. I'm joining the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Yeah, I would kill that stingray because he's a bastard.
Right.
He's a rotten bastard for what he did. It's
You-
unforgivable.
You would let the Stingray take out Steve Irwin, and then you would
I would exact
Liam Neeson
revenge.
style go after the Stingray and make sure the Stingray.
I would Sonic Boom his ass.
The song of Boom was out.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Write down murder and Sonic Boom.
I would take Naveen's husband and we would kill that
Uh-huh.
fucker. We would fry him.
Right.
Now you know why I married him.
Yeah.
He can do those
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's got some bad habits, but don't we all?
Naveen, if you can write all this down and post so I can get it in like the episode notes, I'd appreciate it.
All right.
Okay. So
Forrest,
that leaves
Lieutenant Dan.
Mary for Gump and Lieutenant Dan.
I would marry them. Yeah. Forrest, you know, he's a stable guy. I mean, he loves Jenna. He's always tasting Jenna. So I mean, I think he would take care. I don't know if he'd take care of me, but he would definitely
Jenny was
love me.
not good. Well, Jenny was not good. She's like she's dying, and she's like, "Oh,
No.
please raise my not retarded AIDS baby." Like that.
Mhm.
It was really the worst.
I just want to, I want to get in this Volkswagen party van and have some fun. Just let me be.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "Oh, I fucked all the black guys in there."
Let me just get in the backseat with Naveen, Fonzie, and Kermit. We'll just see what happens.
Lieutenant Dan, I mean, he's great because it's just like, he's always at home cooking for me, making spaghetti, I guess, because that's all he's good at for doing. And then if we have a fight, he can't chase me down and tell me to.
But if you bring home like some shrimp to put in the spaghetti, he's like slaps it out of your hand. He's like, no, that was the other guy.
Yeah, I know. Get that shrimp scampi out of my fucking face. Get out of my kitchen. And then I'm just like, I can't love him because he never pursues me. And he's like, I've got no fucking legs.
And you're like, run, Lieutenant. And he's like, but then you're like, and
you know what? The other draw too. Didn't he marry a Japanese woman? Or was she Thai? She was probably Thai.
Probably Vietnamese. That would make
Vietnamese. Okay, Vietnamese. Yeah, the Vietnam War. Yeah, that was on the nose there. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, just.
I killed you and stole your woman and married them, and now I'm hooking up with Eric.
Right. Just truly dominate that Southeastern Asian culture. just. But she's like perfect. Like you know what? He's never going to put his foot down. Let's wrap it up there with a quick recap. So Naveen, in the game of Kiss Kiss, Marry Marry Bang Bang, the Valkandania twins get a couple of kisses each before he goes back in the house. Mary Mary, the Van Dam's Guile, and Raul Julia's M. Bison. Sadly, Bison's going to die like a week later. And then Fonzie and Kermit, something in the backseat, bang bang. Not exactly clear how it played out. Myself, Roger Rabbit, and Eddie Valiant, guys that respectively did or probably did fuck Jessica Rabbit and Betty Boop is strongly implied by the subtext of that movie. They're just getting a little kiss on the cheek each. It's just that's a league that league is leagues above my own head. That's a world I'm going to stay out of. Jack Burton and Wang Chi going to get married for just authentic Chinese food and the sweet San Francisco real estate market. Murder Thelma and Louise because I didn't think it was a particularly good movie. Andy, Statler and Wardoff is going to get a little kiss each, little kind of taste of Vicks Vapor Rub. Gonzo and Camilla, it's going to be Mary Mary because they just kind of seem like a fun couple. Bert and Ernie, with proper sort of medically advised precautions in place. Bang bang, parentheses, exclamation point, bottoms.
Yep, all day. And
All
let's
day.
not forget about the eggs from Camilla.
There we go.
Don't fertilize those.
What's Rubber Ducky doing the whole time?
Got your nose. Up my ass.
Okay, and for Eric, we got Violent J and Shaggy to Dope not taking off their makeup. They're going to get a little kiss each, but he also gets to play with the Juggalos. Forrest Gump and Lieutenant Dan, Mary Mary, parentheses, kind of boomer era complex racial politics. And then Steve Irwin and Stingray. A lot of different stuff sort of went into that discussion, but in my notes I have Bang Bang, and then parentheses, Murder, Time Machine, Sonic Boom.
Thank you. That captures it. And wait.
He sums it up.
Extra parentheses. Do stingrays survive after stinging someone?
We do need to look into that.
All right. That's maybe that's Patreon content. We'll have to see.
Yeah, comment down below, guys.
See if Charlie wants to make another short for us. How about that?
Okay.
It's gonna become his own version of the Warren Report.
Yep.
Okay. So I think that kind of about wraps up episode 44, gentlemen. That was a lot of fun. We got next week my pick for Neo-Neo-Noir, Park Chan-wook's 2016 sexy Japanese colonial era crime thriller, The Handmaiden, based on British novel from 2001, The Fingersmith. The less you guys, I think, can know about this one, actually, the better. Just kind of go in. I think this is a really, really phenomenal movie. It sort of surprises you at every turn. For a Park Chan-wook is a really fantastic director, and just easily kind of considered like one of kind of Korea's best, and a lot of people sort of regard this as his masterpiece. Looking forward to talking about it next week and kind of hearing what you guys think.
Same.
All I'm gonna say is when you're watching it, don't have in the back of your mind, when is Fingersmith gonna come into play? It'll come.
Yeah, it will.
And don't watch with your wife, Andy. Naveen, no, nobody watch with wives.
Got it.
Right. Yeah.
Noted.
Or children.
Ideally, standing up in the garage.
Yeah, don't bring your chicken.
Mhm.
Your chicken would,
Poor Camilla.
Yeah.
tons of eggs.
Got it.
Right.
Or
Noted.
maybe she would just kind of dry up. I don't know.
Ugh,
Save
You
the
don't
egg
want
breakfast for the next morning when you
Nobody
eat.
likes dry chicken.
no.
Stuck in the throat.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, as long as it's not a nose. Found it.
Out it. Gentlemen, pleasure as always, and let's call it a night.
All right, thank you guys.
All right,
All right.
See ya. Wait. One last thing with a.
Oh,
Uh,
And we don't have to do that again on the show.
bang bang. Bang bang.
Bye.